way to crack
think,
the whip.
yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I think I'm gonna get started. It's 6:04 here. Oh, of course, I'm in Portugal, so people are going to look at the clock like, oh my God, 6:04 p.m. I'm gonna get started. Let me get my notes. First of all, thank you for being here, all of you. Cheyenne, I can see you there. Hi there.
Hello,
Kaufman.
hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Mr. Kaufman Jr., I'm going to get started. And it's recording. So, and by the way, let me press send. Let me know if you can see in the chat, Mr. Paul Chupa. Let me see. Is that in the chat? I think the chat, the problem is Startup Church chat. Because every time I send the playbook to Paul, he has to ask, like, man, I can't see. Like I send it to him like on a personal message.
Because he's old. That's because he's old.
Oh my God, old people's problem.
Old people problems.
Yeah, so this is today's playbook, and I'm gonna get started. So today would be week 1 of a 4-part series on from drift to assignment. I wanted to make a series because I wanted to have some connections between the labs, and I was discussing with Gerald, and we came up with a series. Now, over the next 4 weeks, I'm going to approach all purpose lab from 4 questions from these 4 questions that I'm gonna say to you right now. You know what? I'm gonna paste it in the chat. I like to paste things in the chat. Let me select this text. So these are the 4 questions that I'm gonna answer in 4 weeks. I mean, you are going to go through the lab and you are gonna answer. I'm going to lead to give you homework assignments, and I'm going to explain everything to you. And then we're going to develop this entire series for you to answer these 4 questions.
It's not in the chat.
No, yeah, I'm going to paste it.
Oh, okay.
So here are they. Enter. Who are you? What are you assigned to build? What in your life is out of alignment with these stuff? With all this stuff, who are you and the thing you're assigned to build, and who you must become to carry the assignment in front of you. These are the 4 questions we're going to go through. Today, we begin with the first question, who are you, which is identity. So the theme today is you are not your startup. You are not your business. You are not what you're building. You are not your revenue. You are not your followers count. You are not your last launch. You are not the number of customers you have in your database. You are not the number of customers who said yes, who said no. You are not the investors who said no to you. You are not your title. That's a big one. You are not your business valuation. You are not the current condition of the thing you're building. Startup is that our startups, our businesses, these are things we are building. These are something that we are stewarding, something we are responsible for. This is not who we are. Now, a couple of purpose labs ago, I went through the identity framework that I was teaching, and I remember I clearly said purpose is downstream of identity. Identity is downstream of authorship. And everything below purpose is downstream of all these 3 things. So identity begins before achievement, before you're CEO, before you're a founder, operator, investor, coach, solopreneur, solo founder, consultant, whatever you call yourself, whatever your role is, you are a person created in the image of God. First and foremost. That means your dignity did not arrive when you launched the company. I remember in 2016, when I decided to move to Italy, I closed my business in Brazil. My dignity did not end there. When I opened the antidote, the Numify, my dignity did not start there. That's it. Your dignity did not increase when people applauded you. And it will not disappear when your company struggles. But many founders, they go through that crisis. They think that the business is them. Their dignity is down. Everything is down because the business is down. The business is confused. It's not the place. That's not true. The market will always evaluate your offer, but the market cannot establish your worth. An investor can evaluate the opportunity, But no investor can name your identity. A customer, you can be rejected by customers. They can reject a purchase. That's okay. But no customer has the authority to reject who God created you to be. Now, for we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works. That's Ephesians 2:10. You are God's handiwork. First, good work follows. The work you do is an expression of your identity. Now, a couple of purpose labs ago, I talked about the lie identity, my identity cycle we go through until we find the true identity. But that's another topic. And today, we're going to talk about the rebuilding the founder. So before we try to rebuild the venture, and I remember, before we launched the new Canon, me and Gerald and I, we went at length discussing two things. Number one, what is the thing we want people to admit 8 seconds in? Once they open the website, what do we want them to admit? That they are guessing. So stop guessing, build with clarity. And the second thing I remember is that we build the founder so the founder can build a business. These are the two. That's why we have Purpose Playbook, which is Numify, and the Faith Playbook. So it's one playbook for faith, purpose, startups. That's it. Sometimes the business problem, and I posted it today on LinkedIn, sometimes the business problem is not about the business. It's about the founder. The founder has become emotionally attached to the result of the business. The identity has become so tangled up in the performance of the company. The problem is when that happens, every business decision becomes personal. Every rejection is an attack. Every slow month becomes a judgment. Every competitor's success becomes what? Oh my God, I'm falling behind. Every difficult season a founder goes through, it's like, oh, do I matter? What is my worth? I want this Purpose Lab for us to end this completely. We are going to separate these things. But I wanted to be honest and do the internal work. I remember a guy, I can't remember who, he said, entrepreneurship is an internal battle. It's not like a market battle. It's not a competitor. Of course, there's all these things that come in play, but it's an internal battle. So you may hear something today that makes you feel uncomfortable, which is good, because that's the evidence that we touched on something that God wants to expose. And every time God exposes something, he wants us to heal that thing with him, together with him, and to reorder the entire stuff. So let's get some clarity going on. We are going to end this thing that I am my startup. No, you're not. Today, we're going to separate who you are from what you are building, from what you are currently experiencing with your business. Now, I want all of you to keep one question in mind. We're going to go back to this question. The question is this: who am I when my business is not validating me? We're going to come back to this. Now, founders, we are extremely vulnerable to building our identity around our work. There's a reason for that. And it's understandable, because building a company is deeply personal. You had the idea, you're taking the risks, you're doing investments, you told your family, you told your friends, you told your kids, you may have left a career, you may have spent all your savings, you may have given years of your life to that. So it's deeply personal. So there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is that it is a trap. Because when someone, think about it, when someone questions your business, sometimes it feels like they're questioning you. When someone rejects your offer, it's like they are rejecting you. If the market does not respond, it feels like it's saying you don't have any value. This is worthless. This is useless. Over time, guys, it's this merger, M&A, merger and acquisition that we do between identity and business, it becomes dangerous because the founder and the company becomes one. They become one. Here's why it's dangerous. Let me first go through a scripture. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. The heart is where you interpret this crazy marriage between you and your business. It's the heart. The interpretation you give determines your next action. Here's what I mean. Instead of saying my startup is going through a difficult season, you say, I'm a failure. Instead of saying my offer needs work, you say, I'm not good enough. People are rejecting me. The market is rejecting me. Instead of saying the market has not responded yet, you start to believe nobody wants what I have to offer. So instead of saying I need to learn a new skill, you say I do not have what it takes. You take it personal. One statement is describing a condition. The other is defining your identity. This is super dangerous. One says, here's what's happening. The other says, this is who I am. Those are not the same thing. Your startup may be struggling. That doesn't mean you're a failure. Your positioning might be unclear. That doesn't mean you have no value. Or say, for example, your sales process might be broken. That doesn't mean you are broken. You may need to change your idea or pivot a little bit, not become a pivoter, okay? Let me be very clear. That doesn't mean your life has lost its purpose. The model, your business model, you go through Lean Business Canvas and you're like, no, this is broken. That doesn't mean your assignment has disappeared. These are all different things. We have to learn how to evaluate the business without condemning you as the builder. Because if your identity becomes one with the business, too attached to the business, you lose the ability to analyze the business objectively. You become emotional. You start to protect ideas that need change. You start to defend your offers, but the market doesn't want any of them. You avoid looking at numbers, revenue numbers, demand generation numbers, all numbers. I don't want to look at it because if you judged, you take feedback personally. That's a big one. And we see that lots of time, right, Gerald? You give feedback and people start to get, all defensive and like, no, I'm not attacking you. This is the business model. You make decisions out of fear, out of anxiety. You keep working on something that it's not long working and you need to pivot a little bit, but you're still working because, you become stubborn. Or you abandon something too early because, I don't know, you can't tolerate being rejected. You got 2, 3, 4 rejections and you go, oh my God, I'm gonna drop this. No, the idea was pretty good. While if you're a healthy founder and you separated your business from your identity, it's just like, no, this idea is not working, but that doesn't mean I have no value. Like the season is difficult. Of course, I'm going through a difficult season, but that doesn't mean I'm defined by the season. Okay, I made a poor decision here. That doesn't mean I'm not capable of doing, making good decisions or learning. Or I failed at something. That doesn't mean I am a failure. That separation is essential. You cannot lead a company when every single outcome is determining how you feel about yourself. Absolutely not. So I'm going to give you a simple framework. 3 words. People get confused. Identity, role, results. Identity answers, who am I? Role answers, what am I responsible for in the season? And results is the current fruit of my decisions and actions and systems and circumstances. That's it. Identity, role, results. They are connected, but they are not interchangeable. You may have the role of a founder, CEO, entrepreneur, consultant, coach, investor, creator, it doesn't matter. But that is not the totality of who you are. That's just a role. It's an important role, but roles can change. I remember I was reading years ago about Shopify, gigantic company. And I remember when they started, the first thing they did, not the first thing, but right at the start, might be wrong in the chronological order, but at a certain point, they made the founder the CEO. And the guy's hardcore developer. He resigned. He said, no, I want to go back in the trenches with the developers. And he hired a CEO. He was not a CEO. I want to develop this thing. So roles can change. Companies can be started, can be closed. They can be sold. Titles can change. Titles can be given. They can be taken away. Models, business model, they change all the time. The landscape changes all the time. Your responsibility in one season may be one, and then the next season may be another, completely different. So if your role is your identity, what happens when the role changes? You know, cannot be this way. So you're no longer the CEO, or you sold the company. The company got acquired. The company closes, or revenue is dropping, attendance is dropping. I don't know, whatever the case might be. Here are the questions. Who were you before your title? Who are you after the title? So if the title was gone, who are you? And before you got the title, who were you? Now, whatever you do. Okay, sorry. Whatever you do, work with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. That's Colossians 3:23. Your audience is the audience of one. God. It's not the platform. It's not a title. It's not human recognition. I remember. I was once watching a video and the guy said this. I'm here to please the Lord and serve people. Not please people. I'm like, okay, that sounds interesting. Because your results can change. You can have a great quarter followed by a total disaster of a quarter. You can have one successful launch and the other just flops. You can gain customers, you can lose customers. You can receive funding, you can be turned out for funding. Results are real, they are measurable, we can learn from them, and I think you should take total responsibility for them. Well, we should not use these results to determine our human worth. Here's the distinction. Identity is who you are. Role is what you steward. Result is what you measure. That's it. I think I'm going to paste it in the chat. It's so beautiful. So the problem begins when we use results to establish identity. Let me copy this, paste it in the chat. There's my keyboard. There you go. Who you are, what you're stewarding, and the results. And we get the results and then we establish our identity because of the results. No. This is not a healthy measurement. This is just identity confusion. So if you had to ask yourself, which one of these is the most difficult for you? Identity, role, or results? Which one is the hardest to keep separate? Do you mix up results with the role with the identity? Just think about it. Now, there's here's the fun part of this purpose lab. I want to walk you through 5 false identities that we as founders, we frequently build around. We don't notice that. That's the problem. As I go through them, notice which one creates the strongest reaction in you. Okay? Pay attention. This is too much fun. False identity number 1, I am right, my revenue. This is I think this is the top one. This is when net worth equals self-worth. We get these things mixed up all the time. And depending on how we were raised as kids, oh my God, this is like our identity is how much we have in the bank. When revenue is growing, oh my God, it's so powerful, the king of the world. I'm like Jack and Rose in the Titanic movie, Celine Dion playing, the king of the world. Revenue is growing. When revenue is slow or stalled or even dropping, oh my God, I feel ashamed. When you land a customer, oh my God, I have so much value. When someone crashes, you feel rejected. That's, crashes, cancels. I'm sorry. When someone asks how the business is doing, this is like Thanksgiving, Christmas. Hey, Christian. Hey, Gerald. How's the business going? And we know the type of people who ask those questions during the dinner. They just want to piss us off, you know. When someone asks you, hey, how's your business doing? And like you feel the pressure to make it sound better than it is. Okay, revenue matters. We all know that. A business must have profitable revenue. We all know that. The revenue is like the scorecard of the business model. We all know that. But it's not a measurement of your worth as a person. Life does not consist in only an abundance or possessions. The slug. When we read the Bible, Jesus does not say possessions are irrelevant. Of course not. Jesus uses the possessions to measure, the heart attitude of people every single time. He says that life itself cannot be reduced to them. The same is true for revenue. Low revenue might be a positioning problem, pricing problem. You're going to go through the playbook, you're going to see. Demand generation, sales, your sales process, your sales pipeline. It could be a problem with trust. And I mean trust in the sense of buyer journey. Those are all important discoveries. But low revenue is not the proof that you're worthless. And because we see that a lot. Highly successful people, they can be deeply insecure. People with tremendous revenue. There are plenty of people with tremendous revenue. They don't know who they truly are. Okay, money is a way for us to, hey, Mr. Sid, good to see you here, sir. Money can validate a model, but it does not establish your identity. Now, false identity number 2, I am my title. This is the big one. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, the C-suite proliferation years ago, like everyone is a C something. Or the fractional, now it's fractional. Everyone is fractional something. And the X, everybody's an X something. X Meta, X Google, X this, X that. These are all roles. It's so funny to watch. Jeff, Christian sitting so close to home today. Thank you. Almost didn't make it. Oh, come on, Jeff. Come on. So good to have you here, sir. Now, this is a big one because I remember Gerald say, you don't call yourself a doctor. No, I don't. And I'm not going to put my former title in front of everything like my Dr. Christian. It's embarrassing. Come on.
I would.
No way. Now, of course, you're a founder.
Gerald.
What? What's that?
I said, me too, Gerald.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
You would.
I'd be Dr. Cheyenne everywhere. At the gym, everywhere.
I'm going to put like Dr. Doolittle everywhere. Of course, you're a founder, CEO, or a managing partner, operating partner, president. What's the CVO, Chief Visionary Officer? Oh my God, it's so funny. So many C-suite names out there. Of course, you're an expert, but the titles are useful for one thing and one thing only: to communicate your responsibility. People see a title, oh, that's her responsibility. That's his responsibility. The problem is people wear a costume. I am X Meta, X Google, X Y Combinator. So it becomes something, it becomes like this custom, like a party. They wear this custom everywhere. That's the danger. Sometimes we hide inside titles because we do not feel secure outside them, without them. No problem, Mr. Eddie. So we need to be introduced in a certain way. We need people to know what we have accomplished. Ex, former, fractional, whatever. Who are you without your title? Who are you? I was raised to give so much importance to title that when I lost like the doctor title, I was like, oh, I'm feeling a little bit naked. But I was like 27 years old. So I was recovering from that. And I was like, no, I got to discover my true identity. I'm not the doctor. But I remember when I met my father years later, because he left us and then he wanted to reconnect 6-7 years later. And I met the old man and he discovered that I was not a doctor anymore. He freaked out because I didn't have my title. And I remember, I remember that. It's like a previous life. I was making fun, of course. It was like a previous life. I remember being a doctor, wearing white, with a stethoscope. Oh my God, it felt so cool. No. Now, people often evaluate the appearances, status, accomplishment, and positions, but God looks at the heart. So, are you able to enter a room where nobody knows your resume and still feel strong and secure? Can you serve when you're not leading? Can you learn from someone younger than you? I've seen people just freaking out. No, I'm not going to learn from someone younger than me. Okay. Can you receive correction? Can you admit you do not know in front of everyone? Like, no, I don't know that. A title describes responsibility, okay, not your significance. Now, false identity number 3. I am what other people think of me. These are people like they seek approval, people-pleasing people. You feel strong when they affirm you, or you feel weak when they criticize you, or you're constantly checking reactions. You watch the likes, the comments, the shares, the views, the replies, and you start to measure the quality of your ideas by the speed of applause. You just posted. 5 minutes later, you're there. You can't even blink. Keeping an eye open. Oh my God, no comments. You go there the next day, 1 comment. Oh my God, what is happening? That's what I'm talking about. And you change direction every time you hear someone else's opinion. And Gerald, we see that a lot of time.
Constantly.
A lot of time. And all these people that are telling other people to change, they're not experts in anything. But they just hear it because, oh my God, what if this is a rejection? Oh my God, what if I'm wrong? I don't want to. That's it. Now, are you seeking approval of human beings or God? Whose plan are you following? So the question is not whether you listen to people. The question is whether you pleasing people has become your governing motive. There's nothing wrong in feedback. Founders must listen. We need to listen to the market. We need to listen to mentors. We need customer feedback. We need wise counsel. I'm not bashing those. They are very, very, very important, but the feedback and approval are not the same thing. Feedback will help you improve your work. You can learn from feedback, and you can listen to feedback without being controlled, without getting unstable emotions about it. You have to allow, you cannot allow criticism to define you. Some people will misunderstand you. They will misunderstand your position. They will misunderstand your business, which is okay. Some people will not like your direction, which is okay. Some people will question your decisions, which is okay. Some people will not see what you see. Remember, if you're a founder, you're also a visionary. It's not everyone that's going to get it. That's it. So some people don't get it. Some people don't get it and they attack you because of the vision. Because they think the vision is wrong. You're just crazy. You're into mushrooms or drugs. And they're like, no, I have this vision and I can see that. That does not automatically make you right, okay? But their reaction does not make you wrong. Your job is not to build a life that nobody criticizes. Your job is to become clear enough to discern which voices deserve influence. That's it. False identity number 4. I am my past. That's a big one. Let me tell you this. Past is a lesson, not a life sentence. Your company failed. It's okay. At a certain point, we all had, depending on your age and the number of businesses you opened, you got some failures, which is okay. Maybe you made a bad decision. Your business failed. You lost money. You damaged your relationships. You broke a promise. You hesitated on something. You ignored advices you shouldn't. You started something and you haven't finished it. Or maybe you failed publicly. Like everyone passes your house like, this guy's failing. Oh my God, he's failing big time. You know, this is a lesson. This is not a life sentence. Therefore, there is no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. This is Romans 8:1. Conviction, there's a difference between conviction and condemnation. Conviction calls you to truth, ownership, repair, and change. But condemnation tells you are a failure permanently, and you cannot recover. You're condemned. Taking responsibility is, yeah, I did that. Yes, I didn't listen to you. You're right. Yes, no, I shouldn't have done it. Yeah, I need to own it. Yes, I need to learn. Yeah, I need to repair. But the condemnation is, I did that, therefore is who I am, and I'll always be like that, and my life is so miserable, blah, blah, blah. Now, here's an interesting scripture. Let me read that. Brothers and sisters, I do not consider myself yet to have taken hold of it, but one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead, I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. So, Paul, he did some nasty things. He's not denying his history, but he is clearly refusing to let history become the direction of the future. So you failed. That's okay. You may have made some undisciplined decisions, which is okay. That doesn't mean your name is now, you are going to become, you have become like permanently undisciplined. You may have trusted the wrong people. That doesn't mean you can never trust again. You may have missed opportunities. That doesn't mean you're not going to have opportunities any longer. You are responsible for learning from your history, but you're not required to live inside that history forever. Now, false identity 5. I am my current season. Guys, this is something, I think it was Gerald who taught me this analogy. You got a flat tire in the desert. But after a while, you start to build a home in the desert. Was that you, Gerald? I can't remember. I think it was you.
Yeah. You get stuck someplace and you might have to put a temporary shelter up, but you don't build your house in the desert. You're just
That's it.
visiting.
So it was you.
You're just visiting.
Yeah. So you may be in a season that you are rebuilding, uncertainty, low visibility, I don't know, financial pressure, financial desert, or you're just learning. You're just acquiring knowledge, or nothing seems to be moving like Burger King timetable. Everything is like slow food movement. No, I'm going to plant the beans. And then I'm going to cook the beans for you. And I go, oh my God, I'm so hungry. After a while, you start saying, this is just my life. And I've seen this over and over and over again. People have a flat tire in the desert, they build a house. No, this is just how life is. I'm always behind. I never finish anything. I cannot get any traction ever. I'm always late. I'm always falling behind. This is like you turning a temporary season into a permanent identity. But there is a season for every activity under the heavens. You should not deny the difficulty. You should not pretend everything is wonderful when it's not. Oh, the light is on. No, the light is off. No, the light is on. No, it's on. I can see that. That's it. Do not deny the circumstances, but refuse to be defined by them. That's it. It's a big difference. You are in a season. You are not the season. Oh, yeah, my name is winter. No. Said no one ever. Now, I want you to take personal inventory of this identity. I'm going to give you some sentences for you to complete. This is in the playbook, by the way. It's a homework because you need to stop and think about it. In the heat of the moment, might not work, but once you start to think about them long enough, this is going to make sense. This is how you get inventory. Question number 1, complete this sentence. I feel most valuable when? When someone praises you? When someone asks you for advice? When your numbers are growing? When you're in control? If you want to be in control, everything has got to be the way you like it to be. That's how you feel valuable. Write your honest answer. Second question, I feel like a failure when? When someone says no, rejects you, rejects your offer, unsubscribe from your newsletter. Oh my God, 3 people unsubscribed. Oh my God. When you miss a goal, revenue goal, demand generation goal, sales pipeline goal, or when your family questions the business. Oh, I wonder how your business is going. Oh my God. Third sentence. The result I believe I need in order to prove myself is, what is the result? We're always attached to it's like the aim. It's like I want this result, and this is going to prove myself. Successful launch, funding round, large audience, number of followers, a particular lifestyle. Next sentence. The opinion I am most afraid of is from a parent, a spouse. Whose opinion? It's not even the opinion, it's whose opinion carries too much emotional weight. Husband, wife, kids, father, mother, siblings, former bosses, I don't know, colleague, an investor, successful friend, people on social media. So whose voices are you listening to? And now, another sentence. When my business struggles, the story I tell myself is. That's a big one. What is the story? I'm too old. Or, oh, I think I started too late. Or nobody's taking me seriously. Or, I don't know, I always ruin good opportunities. Or I'm not smart enough. I don't have what it takes. It takes too long. I'm not smart enough to figure it out. Write the story. That's it. And after that, that's how you take inventory. You read your answers. But you got to be honest. You cannot BS yourself for too long. Now, Mr. Kaufman. No, you're not the first. You know what? You're not the first box. I think you called Zoom and said, I'm always the first box in Christian's call. It's Paul. Mr. Paul Chupa, you are the first box. Oh, you are the first box. Let me ask you this. You have your false identities. Like, which one affected you the most during your entrepreneurial lifetime? Was it the revenue, the title, the approval, or the past, or the current season? These are the 5 false identities. Revenue, I am my revenue. I am my title. I am the approval of people. I seek approval. I am my past, or I am defined by my current season. Which one do you think had the greatest effect on you?
I guess it's, I am my results or revenue.
The revenue.
so I started something and it didn't happen, and life, and then the season got in the way and took me away from it. So
Yeah, that's a big one. Gerald, do you have one? False
Oh my
identity?
God. This whole thing is, I'm so convicted on all of these
All
things.
five?
Well, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at, you got to remember, I came from nothing, right? And
Yes.
so, I started my first venture at 23. And so it's, when you first start something, what is that saying? Fake it till you make it. So there's that big old
Fake it till you
thing,
make it. Yeah.
and I don't want people to see Gerald Duran from East LA. Like I'm in Newport Beach, California, in my first office. And so, my identity, like that's the first thing, my identity. I mean, I'm so stupid at 23. I went out and spent $5,000 on a fancy desk so I look like somebody. So I suffered with that one,
Approval.
like, and then role, I mean, really role results, all these are so tied together. And, it's just like this whole thing. I'm sitting here listening and going, boy, if I'm honest, I need to do work on all these things because when I lost everything, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, I lost my identity. I lost my role. And the result, like it was all tied into that. And I liked it. I liked it. I mean, it's like, we say as Christians, well, I only care what God thinks. But, if I was honest, that's a lie. I really cared what everybody else thinks. And, if I cared what God thinks so much, I probably wouldn't have done a lot of the sin that I was getting into, right? Because he's seen everything. But, it's like there's a false identity that we get from um, what we think people perceive us to be, and that makes
Hmm.
you feel good. And your role. I don't think people are doing this anymore, but like corporates, like your business card, reflected in the corner office you have. It was all about your identity, and you had worked your way up. Now you're on the fifth floor with the C-suite, and your whole identity is wrapped into that.
Yeah.
Result. I mean, you think about it: the cars we drive, the houses we live in. These are all like kind of things kind of tied to what we do. And
Yes.
society's built around that. And if you've ever been in a position where you kind of lost some of those things,
Yes.
it hits home. So I think this is a really good one. I mean, I'm probably not the best example, Christian. I think I have some weaknesses in this area. I feel better the wealthier I am. I'm telling you, when I lost everything, I felt like this big. And I know I'm just being honest. I know it shouldn't feel that way,
Yes.
but I did. People started treating me different, I had to move to a lesser house, all these kind of things. And, it, so I think this is a really good one. I think this exposes
Mm.
something because you think about like if you're a startup in the startup world, it's all tied to all this stuff. Your identity, your role, your
Hmm.
results. I mean, I know people on LinkedIn, super super popular people, startup founders that are giving lectures and holding events on how to raise and blah 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 blah, and they're really popular, but I know secretly they have zero revenue,
Oh my God.
and their whole existence is just based on like opinion and all this stuff. So this is I would just say
We're all
this is
busted.
probably a really good topic. This is like something we probably all have to work on, like where you could feel just as tall if you have zero results. It's kind of like you ever watch, what was that not to dominate this, but what was that golf show with the golfers? It was a reality show with the golfers. I forget what they called it, but these golfers, when they were losing or they were having like, they're an attorney, like they're just going down, they're depressed, all this kind of stuff. And
Yes.
it's all around the results. And I think as entrepreneurs, if it's public and it's out there, we feel the same way. And it's wrong, it's wrong. And but I think that, I'm successful. You know, I shouldn't be, but I would say I'm attached. I'm attached to these things. It's better with the successes for my identity, my role, and results, but it should be tied to my circumstances. So I
Yes,
agree.
but we're all busted, Gerald. We're all busted.
We're
Remember,
busted.
we're
We're
all
busted.
busted.
I'm sitting there going, man, I'm busted.
I'm
I need
busted.
to. I need to get
Totally
out of this
busted.
room before he calls on me.
Oh yeah, you're not the first. You're not the first box, but you're the last one. That's why I asked. I went Paul and Gerald. Now I should go like Jeff and Chi, but I decided to go this diagonal here. But we're all busted. Now, here's something. Here's an exercise, and this is going to change the way you see stuff. It's a 5-step practice, and it's going to isolate the confusion. It's going to make everything clear. Now, let's call it the identity reset. It's not a factory reset. The factory reset, you got to ask God. And I remember my last Purpose Lab 2 weeks ago was, who am I to you, Father? That's the factory reset. This is just an exercise. Now, my recommendation is when a customer says no, you got an offer rejected, you were rejected for funding. When the numbers that you see is like triggering fear, like the revenues going down, like the stock market, or you receive any criticism, or every time you start to turn a business event into a personal verdict, that's it. Use this. Step 1, name the trigger. The question is, what happened? No story. What happened? It's like you're watching, I would say football, but I would say soccer. The guys in the United States who have the World Cup, and you have like 11 guys, each team like kicking the crap out of each other just to score a goal. What happened? Like you're in the stands, like, oh, this happened. This happened. No emotions. It's just what happened. Now, say for example, the prospect choose not to move forward. Say, I don't know, JIT Pro. Jeff is going, he got many prospects, and one said, Jeff, I don't think this is for me. Oh, what happened? Well, the prospect chose not to move. No story. The campaign didn't produce what we wanted. So let's say Jared and I, we start the ads. We start ads, like a Facebook campaign, and we don't have the results. Oh, the campaign didn't produce what we were expecting to produce. That's it. Facts. Be very specific. Step number 2, name the story. Because you're going to tell a story. That's it. That's a fact. And then we attach the story. What is the story? Don't tell a story. Tell which story you are starting to, you're getting there. My brain is working towards making a story out of it. What is the story? Oh, the process, say, Jeff. Oh, Gerald, the prospect said no, so I must not be credible. Gerald's going to look like, why are you saying that? But that's the story. Or, Friday, we're going to meet in Gerald, and then it's just, we look at the Facebook campaign results. Oh my God, what a colossal pile of crap. Oh, the campaign failed, therefore we are bad at marketing. Like, no, it's just one campaign that failed. Okay, name the story. Step number 3, separate the fact from the meaning. This is crucial. You cannot skip that. What happened is real. What I am making it mean about me may not be true. That's it. The fact is there. Revenue is down. Prospect said no. Facebook campaign failed. That's okay. But the story may not be true. That's it. Do not skip that. Step number 4. Now you reclaim what's true. You see, we are just turning things around. What remains true about me regardless of this outcome? Now remember, if you're a solo founder and you are also, say, the salesperson, You might not be good at selling. You might not. That might be true. That doesn't mean you can't hire someone to sell the stuff. I might not be good in revenue. Okay, that doesn't mean you can't hire a chief revenue officer. You see where I'm going with this? Do not attach those things. What remains true about me regardless of this outcome? I am created God's image, first of all. I'm God's handiwork, first of all. And there's no condemnation. So, with that said, are you capable of learning? Are you capable of receiving feedback? Can you ask for help? Go to a Thursday check-in. Gerald, look, I have no idea how to do that. Go, ask for help. Am I able to make better decisions? This one was crap. Am I able to do it? Oh, of course. Can I become more disciplined? Yeah, of course. I still have the experience. Guys, you still have the responsibilities you want and your purpose. You never lost your purpose, by the way. You still have your experience. You still have your gifts. You still have your skills. So the results may require an adjustment. It might not be a big story, right? And step number 5, choose the next faithful action, obedient action, because it's not just revenue is down. Yeah, that's not that's not prospect said no and Jeff goes, no, I'm still credible. Then what you're going to do? That's it. You got to take action. It's not the next 5 steps. It's just the next step. Now, it's like James 1:5. You ask God for wisdom. He's going to give it. But here's the catch. You cannot be double-minded. Ask God for wisdom. If you need an identity reset, you need to kind of, hey, who am I really? Because this is bothering me. Go and ask. Do I need to follow up? Do I need to ask why they said no? Do I need to clarify the offer? What if Jeff, the guy, said no because he didn't understand JIT Pro? You need to clarify. I remember I learned this from someone. Every time someone has even a rejection, or just say something that's not very positive, I started to. The guy said this: train your brain to perceive this as a request for further clarification. I remember he used this word. So a prospect said to Jeff, and it's a big contract. Let's say it's a big contract. I said, no, I'm not moving forward. Why? There's an objection. This guy is requiring further. It's not pushing. But in his head, he said, I quite don't get it. Okay. Do I need to? So that's what I'm saying. You need to go and you need to take action then. Do I need to apologize for something? Do I need to rest before making any decision I'm at the heat of the moment. I want to chop someone's head off. Do I need to review the data? Do I need to? I don't know. That's it. It's not ignoring everything. It's just acting. That's it. Now, what I want, and I don't want to close this with a challenge for you. It's like 7 days. Every morning, and this is important because we wake up every day and we tend to just go all in. So while you're sitting there and talking to God and going through the scriptures, your prayer, your meditation, before you check everything, before you check the world, anchor your day on these things. 3 things. First, remind yourself who you are before you measure what the business did. First thing in the morning, who I am. Number 2, whenever you're triggered, go through the 5 identity reset steps that I taught. What happened? What is the story? What is the fact? What is the story that my brain is going there? It's going to tell the story. What remains true? What is the wisdom? And what is the next faithful action? These 5 steps. And at the end of each day, here's the simple stuff. 4 questions. What happened today? What did I make it mean? What truth did I reclaim? And what will I do next? I got rejected today. Oh, you got to jump, Mr. Kaufman. Nice to have you here, sir. No problem.
Thank you.
See you next Wednesday,
Love
sir.
you guys. You guys have a great day.
That's it. Now, this is all in the playbook. So I want to close with this. And I want to close out with a prayer today. It's going to be the first time. And I'm excited for this prayer. Now, let me close with this. Your startup may be the most important thing in your life right now. That's it. That's your greatest aim. I'm thinking about Mr. Sid. The passion that he has for this idea. That's it. It's the biggest thing that he can think about. Your startup may create jobs, generate wealth, may solve a problem. Big problem. This is a burden you have. Like, I have to solve this. I'm thinking about, Mr. Scott Bonder. He's not here with us today, but his app trying to solve the connection problem in society may serve millions of people. It may become part of your entire life right now, but you cannot allow it to become your identity. Markets change, customers change, strategies change, roles change, seasons change, everything change. Your identity doesn't change. Your business will have good days, difficult days. You need an identity that can survive both. I'm going to say that again. Your business will have good days and difficult days. You need an identity that can survive both good days and bad days. You're God's handiwork. You're God's image. There's no condemnation. You can ask God for wisdom. You can renew your mind. You can press forward. You're the builder. You're not the building. You are the steward. You're not the results. Next week, it's going to be week 2, and we're going to talk about assignment. That's next week. And then we're going to talk about alignment. That's week number 3. And then we're going to talk about formation. That's number 4. Identity is who you are. Role is what you steward. Result is what you measure. That's it. It's all in the playbook. Now, I want to close with a prayer. Father, thank you that our identity does not rise and fall with business results. Thank you that we are created in your image and formed as your handiwork. Show everyone in this call where revenue, title, approval, the past or the current season has taken a place it was never meant to hold. Renew our minds with your truth. Give us the wisdom for the next faithful action. Teach us how to measure the business success in an honest way without condemning us as the builder. Form us into your faithful and stewards for every single assignment you place in our hands. I pray this over every single person on this call in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Amen.
Amen.
So, questions, observations. Thank you, Chi. Thank you very much. It's your first time. Good to have you here. Hope to see you next Wednesday. If you guys don't have any questions, anything?
I'll say this.
Go ahead.
I was thinking about when God called Abraham the father of nations. So when did he become the father of nations? When he had the children or when he received the assignment? He became the father of nations when he received the assignment, but he didn't produce children for a long time. And so he probably felt very insecure about that, like we do. And so, but if he could see into the future, if he could see the future Abraham, in fact, God even had to change his name to give him the confidence, he would have saw something. If we could see the future us, what God sees, the finished product, we'd think different. I was thinking about two more things. I was thinking about Elon. There's 2 pictures. There's one where he's really young and he has tears in his eyes because I think he's doing an interview and somebody tells him that, his dream won't come true and he gets tears in an interview. And then there's another picture of Elon when there's a crash and he's kneeling down in a warehouse and the parts of there's that one. And and I think about Trump, just all this different stuff, all the different crap that has come against him. But there's something in these guys where they already know who they're called to be, what they're put on the planet to do. And I just think about this. I have to remind myself of this all the time, of Mark 11:24. When you pray believing you received it.
Received it.
And then it's done.
Mhm.
We're on a journey. You might be
Yeah.
losing right now, whatever, but it's done. And that's where true identity is who God says we are, not like, measured by our results, which I think is just a big weakness for us all. It's easy to get there. It is for me. But that's my last 2 cents.
Abraham, father of nations, is like what I said just minutes ago. It's the Burger King timetable problem. It's like it takes forever for this thing to happen.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, you know what, God? I don't know why you called me the father of nations, but you might be into mushrooms or whatever. I'm not your guy. I'm not your guy. And he could have just gave up. No. Imagine, years of faith. Like, no, yeah, no, I'm being faithful. I'll be faithful. Yes, I am. Yeah,
That's what they call long suffering.
Yeah, it is. That's good.
It is very, very good. Yes. So that's it, guys. If no one has any other question, I'll see you next Wednesday. Very good to have you here, Mr. Sid. Nice surroundings, sir. It's a beautiful day. Wherever you are. Oh, look at that. The guy's living the dream.
Oh my
We are
God.
locked into offices. The guy's living the dream. Cheyenne, good to have you here. Mr. Brandon, good to have you here. Mr. Kaufman Jr., Mr. Paul Chupa. See you guys next Wednesday for round 2.
See you all next Wednesday.
All right.
Thank you.
Adios.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.